I hope you all know that you're here to be excited and inspired by some design work. So I'm excited to see that many of you are interested in this. So welcome to our brand evolution. We are strategically calling it evolution. We aren't redesigning our brand, we're just evolving. So today we're going to talk to you about a refreshed and reimagined branding across all of our channels. Some of it you've seen already in President Bruce's presentation, some of the work that has been done in the marketing team. We're going to share some fresh color palettes and some new typography. Hopefully you're excited about that. And then we don't want to hold all of these design resources and keep them to ourselves. We want to share them so you have the tools to create beautiful content on your own. Oh, sorry, Betsey Kershaw, Michael Hemmesch, who's going to talk a little bit about public relations in our nation. So a little reminder, just kind of always have to level set. So what is a brand? It's not a logo. I think probably everyone in this room understands that. It is truly more than a logo. It's about the experience that people have with our brand. It's from our tone, our messaging, our visuals, our values, and the emotional connections that people have with CSB SJU. This is an important distinction because it really is about how people feel when they interact with our brand. So why does brand matter? Because a strong brand allows us to shine above the competition. We're able to stand out and be unique in the marketplace. A strong brand also creates trust and builds loyalty with all of our audiences. And then a really strong brand fuels growth and engagement, sparks conversation, gets people talking about us. So marketing just works. But why now? Why in this moment are we evolving our brand? Because we know it's all about staying fresh and exciting for the next generation. We have to recruit our next class, and we're on that journey already. We need to stay rooted, but we also need to stay rooted in our Benedict values. Super important. Because we're facing some pretty strong headwinds. Demographic flip is expected to begin next year. Students are applying to on average between 6 to 8 colleges. That's a lot. It's a heavy competition. And then affordability and student debt fears are real for many of our students. So, to talk to you a little bit about phase 1. This work began last fall, where we started to undertake, what does it mean to be CSB SJU in this current market? How do we shine amongst our competitors? How do we truly differentiate ourselves? So we started in the winter, and we involved our athletics partners. So the athletic directors got together with the marketing team, and we looked at, have we ever pulled our athletic brands together and been unified? And actually the answer we found was no. So we looked at all of the athletics marketing across many channels, and we started with that work. I'll share that in a minute. So now we're really excited to share with you that our athletic brands are very consistent across CSB and SJU. In the spring, we began to roll out new graphics, so campus signage, which I think you currently see on campus. It's illustrated by a local artist. We have an interim style guide with some updated typography, colors, and branding for you all to access. And then now, where we sit right now, so we're getting ready to go to print on some new recruiting materials, which I'll share with you today. Really exciting stuff. And then the fall, we'll be in phase 2, which is Brian. So glad Brian talked about the arts and science work, because that work is critical to this branding work that we're doing. So once we align and land the plane on where we are in the market and how we're positioning CSB and SJU, we will put the final touches on our revised icon. So you'll see that, and more environmental graphics, and we'll bring more things to life with that final positioning. It's really important to this work. So let me talk a little bit about the new brand kit. We have an updated brand you'll see over here on your right. So this is what we're calling our interim style guide. And this is a beautiful little simple style guide to show you, where are we with our current mark, our lockup, our formal mark lockup on the top, and then some color palette and font updates. It's super fresh. a little more open and airy than what we've had before, and a lot more flexibility. We created this work. The biggest struggle we had with our current type is that when we shrunk it, it fell apart. So we all know that our mobile devices are primary. It's how we're experiencing all the brands that we are searching. And so we have to make sure that our brand and all of the logos and marks that go with it, when they shrink, they're legible. So that's really what kind of inspired the initial project. And then we did a color update. We had a pretty big color palette. Did you know we had gold in our color palette? So we simplified it, pulled it way back, and we're leaning really hard into two primary colors. Our red is our same red you all love and has been around forever. We're introducing a new blue. So we have Action Red and Power Blue, and that Power Blue is just slightly brighter than what we've had in the past. These are our two primary colors that we are going to be leaning hard into. What excites us the most about this color combination is that we're not seeing this in any other institution. This is a very interesting combination. Done right, it can also be done wrong, but when it's beautifully executed, it pops. In fact, there's a sweatshirt in the bookstore that I bought for myself and it's already been stolen by my daughter. So that using that color combination. So that's a focus number one, but I'm going to tell you it looks great. Heritage Blue, formerly known as chocolate blue, still exists in our palette and we want to keep it. It's important. It's just not as vibrant. So look, it's here. It's a secondary color palette. Navy Nights, which is the navy we want to use for accents, and Ruby Red. I think what you will notice is that we're pulling away from black while we will have it in things like our PowerPoint template. Black is kind of strong and harsh. Black is an important accent, but not a primary nor a secondary color. So let's look at our formal and informal marks. So on the left, you'll see College of St. Benedict, St. John's University. This is using our new font. And on the right, you'll see what we're playing around with, which is leveraging our hexagon. And here's the problem that hexagon is attempting to solve. One of the things that people have the most difficulty remembering is our acronym, CSB SJU. So we are working hard in marketing to find ways to reinforce that acronym so it's memorable. So again, on the left, beautiful, formal lockup, fresh fonts that when those fonts are reduced, they're legible. On the right, informal application of our brand to reinforce our acronym. And a little more friendly. We've updated our Instagram icon and it pops. So we're loving this. We're also, you can see it here. You're also going to see how we are showing this how informal and the formal marks can play together. They work beautifully together. Hope you agree. And so just to remind you where we were and where we are now, nothing wrong with our current logo type. It's just, it's a little weaker. And again, as we shrink it, it falls apart. So now our fonts, the airiness of the type, the heaviness of the letters, it's just a stronger brand. And so phase two, we want to talk about where we're at. Brian chatted about that today, but what we learned in all of our research, qualitative and quantitative research, is that our current shield and mark just lives amongst the sea of sameness in higher ed. So we have a huge opportunity to break out of the pack and leverage our sacred icon of the hexagon. So stay tuned. We will be revising and finalizing this work where you'll see a version of the shield and the Benedict cross. So let's talk a little bit about the athletics work that I teased you about. So for the first time ever, we brought our athletic brands together, creating a unified and vibrant that champions all our CSB SJU athletes. Ta-da! We've always had this SJU lockup. We modified it slightly, just again for small space digital. We improved some of the white space. But then what was most important is we asked ourselves the question, well, why doesn't CSB have something similar? So while it again, this is not revolutionary, this is evolutionary, but we feel really excited about the fact that on this journey, we are now consistent with both our athletic brands. I think this feels really fresh. I just got the text from Kelly, our athletic director, and she just ordered a bunch of foam cores for media day tomorrow that say CSB, and she's holding them up, and they look great. So it's really exciting for Benny's to have the same type of strength and that really St. John's has always had. And then just across the board in terms of type and graphic design, we're just being really consistent with how we're using formal fonts and there's probably each brand, each athletic brand has a 40-page style guide. I'm just showing you a couple of things in the style guide. How it shows up in collateral and graphic design. Again, you're starting to see this new color palette. That's athletics. So let's talk about what's happening on campus. So on campus, we really are looking to create some fresh and dynamic environmental graphics that bring new energy and excitement to every corner of CSBSU. Is it going to happen overnight? No, but we're starting. And so I think we've got some really beautiful feedback from their current banners. I hope you all are enjoying them. We will be refreshing our banners again this fall, so stay tuned. But in the same spirit, again, bringing energy to our campus. You know, just, I don't know if y'all, we'll talk about this in a second, but I don't know if you noticed that at St. Ben's, we leaned into flora and fauna. Again, local illustrator in Minneapolis created these graphics, and then Lake Stag on the St. John's campus. Did y'all notice that? People. And then just furniture. So just starting to play with the big red chair and with some messaging. This is a little bit of a teaser of what I'm going to talk to you a little bit. Actually, Michael's going to talk to you about a partnership we have, but love this idea of Together United. It's got a double meaning for both our campuses and also this partnership that we have with the Minnesota United. And then big, beautiful, bold signage. So why not use this type and color and fonts to welcome our Benny's and Johnny's home this year. And then because we can't help ourselves, we got our hands on some of the merch in the bookstore, and we've been SKU by SKU going through many of the products and applying some of the new graphics to hats and t-shirts and notebooks and pencils, and that has been a super fun project. And I just couldn't help but share this. So in Brother Willie's Pub is reopening, and now Brother Willie's Pub as a brand. So we are thrilled to be able to share. I want to share the whole deck with you, but it's super fun and also quite funny. But Brother Willie's will have brand new signage in the space, new logo. We have this kind of lockup with just his head, but also this other fun logo with the farmer, pitchfork, and overalls. And so we have beer mugs, we have tip jars. The tip jar says, "Help a brother out." I actually put that in there. It's really cute. So this is just so fun. Like, it just goes to show, like, there's so much opportunity on these campuses. Like, and so just picking up something as fun as Brother Willie's Pub and applying beautiful graphics and a fun logo, just really, it's great for our campus, our students. And then the link, we hope we can pull this off, but to me, there's no better moving billboard than a bus. So ideally, we are going to be freshening up our link buses so that we're driving down 94. We don't need a billboard because we got a bus. And then with that bus, some bus stops, both on St. Ben's and St. John's campuses. Admissions. So let's talk about the admissions work we're doing. This work is essential to everything we're focused on in marketing, and we are leaning into this idea of more and more to explore. because this idea really uniquely highlights the specialness of our two campuses. So our promise with this campaign and this effort is that when it comes to your education, you shouldn't settle for an average experience. In fact, you should come to expect more academics, more experiences, more opportunities, more attention, more perspective, more athletics, activities and events, more ways to worship, more spaces, more nature, and more ways to belong. At CSB-SJU, that's exactly what you'll get, and that's more. So we're loving this idea. This is not necessarily a brand positioning, but it could be. But it's a really strong campaign because I think it truly differentiates us. It shines a light on our campuses and our unique culture. So in terms of where we are in the collateral, so this is a little before and after. Previously we had Come to Succeed campaign. We're moving more into this more to the smaller. So leading, less formal, a little bit more experiential, a little bit more emotional, and you'll see some of that when I open up this is the welcome brochure. This is our transfer guide. So you see, there's nothing wrong with this, but I don't think our students wear suits. But more emotion, more excitement, like it's all about finishing. Again, finish strong. Well, how about more for a strong finish? So really that, threading that language throughout all our materials, more. Financial aid scholarships, more rewards for your future. So you're gonna, there's more opportunity for scholarship here. Facing the camera in photography, having our students face the camera. And again, you're starting to see where we're just playing around with our little CSB-SJU hexagon and form a lockup. And then our website. So we've updated our website to align with this campaign. So we're currently on press. Well, I think maybe today or tomorrow with these new materials. They're beautiful. I wish I had a copy of it here, but it actually opens up wide, and it's what we love the most about this new piece is people don't read, let's be honest, but it's a great standing piece. And again, you're seeing that language throughout, more to explore, more to contemplate, more purpose, more value. And then just jumping ahead, looking at some of just simple things that we've done. This is what we did before last year for fall visit days, kind of leaning more into this new color palette. Kind of a before and after. This is kind of the enhancement, if you will. All right, let's talk about institutional advancement. I don't have a lot here, but for the first time, our two magazines look alike. They haven't really had, they weren't even in the same family. They weren't cousins. Now they're brother and sister. So we're feeling really good about the direction of this. And if you haven't picked up the latest copy of St. Ben's magazine and then compare it to St. John's magazine, the inside layouts are just stunning and really exciting and fun for us. And now I'm going to take it over to Michael.
All right, thank you. Most of you look familiar, but for those that are new to the community, welcome. I'm Michael Hemmesch, Director of Public Relations, St. John's class of '97, starting year 28 as an employee. So I'm going to talk about some of our strategic partnerships, and virtually all of these are new in the last 3, 6, 12 months. Some of these you might know of or have heard about. Others are relatively new. So any soccer fans in the crowd? So as of July 1st, we are the official higher ed partner for Minnesota United Football Club. That is a 3-year deal that we signed, and that is going to, I give Betsey a lot of credit, and actually I'm going to defer to you on this one because being a season ticket holder, and this was really
Yeah, my stat is, as I am a season ticket holder, but I also care passionately about this target audience, and 19,600 people show up to a game twice a month in soccer season. We should be there. So,
And in the market of St. Paul, I think it's important for us
right behind Central High School
to have a bold presence in St. Paul. This is a conversation that has been going on for 5 or 6 years. The chief revenue officer for Minnesota United is a Johnny, and the chief financial officer is a Benny. So we have some proud alums with the club. NPR News and Minnesota Public Radio in general, we were an educational sponsor for many, many, many years, up until about 2015, obviously. NPR birthplace at St. John's. As of July 1st, we are now back as an educational sponsor. So you, if you are a listener of NPR, you should hear many of our spots on NPR, and that is allowing many other partnerships and avenues. If anyone is a fan of Talking Volumes, we have some free tickets for an event on October 1st. So if you're interested, let me know. And that is some of the opportunities that we have for the coming years. iHeartMedia, I don't know much about that, so I'm going to defer to Betsey on that one.
Okay, I always thought it was iHeartRadio, to be honest, but they are a full-blown media company. So with iHeartMedia, we are now going to be we have some lovely commercials that will be playing out in key podcasts that are targeting students. The person who pitched this idea to us is a former Benny, and when she recorded her voice sharing her story about being a Benny, it pretty much sealed the deal. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. It'll be a great opportunity, and we all listen to podcasts, so it's a great, smart move.
So this is actually a new graphic as of this past weekend now, the Minnesota Star Tribune. So certainly on the PR side of things, I've been pitching stories to the Star Tribune for my entire professional career. But now we have also engaged with the Star Tribune on their advertising and sales side. They, who knew that they had basically a full service ad agency at the Star Tribune, and so as of last week, we are now on board with the Star Tribune, which will help us in many of our digital initiatives moving forward. And then Minnesota State High School League. So last year we started a partnership with the State High School League to be a sponsor and have our marks on the TV broadcast for the state high school tournaments, so football, boys and girls hockey, and boys and girls basketball. So that gives us TV coverage and coverage at the arena during those events. So I think this entire scope makes us omnipresent in lots of different venues that is going to prove very beneficial moving forward. So here's an example of Allianz Field and some of our marks during the matches. Thanks to our photographer, Tom, not in the room right now, but Tom took some of these photos. All right, so I know much of this presentation has been about brand, the creative side of things. I'm going to briefly talk about our newsroom, and then we will leave room for questions. So our newsroom is the go-to source for updates and resources about St. Ben's and St. John's. Enables us to present our brand story in a cohesive, impactful manner. So we've always had a website that has all of our newsroom stories, other resources in the news when our faculty and employees are and students quoted, and we're going to continue to make this kind of our central hub for all of our collateral and all of our resources and all of our stories. So here's just one example from this summer. The week of reunion. So every Monday morning we kind of like a newsroom, you have a story meeting. We have a storyboard meeting every Monday morning. We found out about this Johnny alum, Chris Manning, class of '89. He's going to come back to Collegeville for a reunion. But he decided, I'm going to ride my bike from his home in Colorado to Collegeville. Pretty cool story. We thought we had until Wednesday. We thought we had about 48 hours to prepare for this, to get our photographers, videographers, writer prepared. And we find out about noon on Monday. No, he's going to be rolling into Collegeville at 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. So we were able to mobilize and get this story on our website by the end of the day on that Monday. And here are just some of the wonderful examples of our high quality photos and video that we're now able to do because of the staff resources that we have. And the far one, is that posted on TikTok?
Can I just add to, oh, you're talking about it.
Go ahead, Sarah.
We were able to leverage this for a great deal of PR. It was picked up by the Star Tribune, Minnesota Star Tribune, and a few other pretty large media outlets. So, you know, one small piece that our team was able to mobilize on a Monday afternoon gave us miles and miles of media coverage, and that's exactly the kind of thing that we want to be working into. It's the exact kind of story that we want to tell and be working into our PR strategy.
And the interesting part about how this story came about, yes, we pitched this story to the Star Tribune, but I pitched it to different reporters. I did not pitch it to Bob Timmons, who is their outdoor reporter. Bob found this story through a Google search and found our newsroom story and was intrigued by it. So that's just an example of how our newsroom can serve a much bigger purpose than just here on campus. Once again, telling our story. So last academic year, we had 26 different faculty members quoted in the media from 18 different academic departments with 72 different media placements. So the 26 and the 18 are records at St. Benedict St. John's. The 72 media placements is second all time in terms of, and this is just faculty. And obviously we have students, other employees quoted in the media. But faculty experts is an area of priority for us. It has been and will continue to be. And we aggressively work with a firm, a PR firm in the Twin Cities called Goff Public. Their vice president for PR is a Johnny, so it helps that their PR outfit there knows us very well, and I'm talking to them almost every day in terms of stories that we can be pitching to the media. For example, we sent an op-ed yesterday to the Star Tribune on behalf of one of our faculty members. Our dear Carol Reese will be on NPR and on WCCO radio in the coming weeks, so please listen for that. And finally, capturing our story. Our content team is elevating the brand, as I said before, with the Star Tribune story and our own newsroom story. High quality photos and videos that capture the attention and get shared far and wide, showcasing the best of our community.
Yeah, before we play this, I want to talk about that just for a second, because one of the things we say in marketing is like, what are we going to start doing? And in order to start doing, what are we going to stop doing? And we're going to stop just covering everything. We're really going to go after the things that matter, the emotional stories that highlight the people on our campuses. And so we have some photos to share with you of some shoots from the last couple months.
I can't believe that you came into my life.
authentic storytelling is 100% going to set our brand apart and continue to drive us forward on this journey of evolution. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so let's collaborate. How do we work together? So, really being disciplined with how we support our campus partners. So we have come up with 3 key areas to make sure that the work that we're doing is strategic and moving us forward. So if you have a project that aligns with the following, helps to build our next class of incoming students, or does it help retain our current class, making students feel happy and engaged while they're here? And then number 3, does your project help engage with our graduating classes for life? So prospects, current students, and alumni. These are our 3 areas, no surprise, our primary audiences, but we have to be super disciplined and focused to make sure that we are creating the time and space to amplify our brand. And then if you have one of those projects and you're interested in working with us, either go live CSVSJU or use this. And then I wouldn't end this conversation without making sure you have the tools you need. So let's say you have a great idea for a project, but it doesn't quite align with those strategic goals of ours in marketing. We want to make sure that you have the tools you need to create your own materials. So we're rolling out Canva, campus-wide. It's an incredible tool for photo, video, graphic design. We built out our brand toolkit in Canva. We've got some templates that can be utilized, and you can make your own beautiful graphics. So we want to make sure that anyone on campus feels supported by marketing with at least just having some tools that you can leverage. And that's it. I'd love to leave some room for questions.
Will Canva be free if we said in the account with kind of like rolling it out for everyone?
We have licenses, so each department should have the ability to have one single sign-on and that you'll share with your department. So we have been already rolling that out. We can support you with that if you need an access to Canva.
And should we reach out to you directly?
Sarah, do you know?
You can reach out to Scotia on our team, or feel free to utilize that marketing request
Yeah.
and just say, hey, I'm looking for a Canva account.
I know we have different logos for like the endowed programs. So are those logos to change them? Like, is that something that I've just gotten from previous, coordinators, but like for the J. Phillips Center or for the Literary Arts Institute, are those to change them with
Yes.
the new font?
Yeah, I think we'd like to just take, what you could do is use that.
And then I can use it on
Yeah,
Canva.
we have a pretty strong sense for where we need to roll this out in terms of like centers of excellence and things like that. But not totally sure that yours are on our radar. So it's an easy lockup. You can load into Canva and either you can have, so we can provide that.
Okay, and I noticed the blue, so is that college of, you have the font?
It's interchangeable. So we have 2 versions. Great question. We're leaning mostly into the red, but sometimes we want to use the blue. So, but again, those were our 2 primary colors, so they're interchangeable. And I want to be clear, these are guidelines, not rules. Now, that doesn't mean we'd love you to go crazy and add purple, but it is guidelines. They're creative opportunities. We're just giving you a lane to play with.
So academic departments have letterhead and envelopes and business cards and things with quality hold,
Yeah.
logos and things like that. Should we be looking to replace all of it? Can we continue to use what we have? What's the plan?
Fantastic question. I would encourage you environmentally to use what you have, and when you run out, we can reorder. And probably at that moment, we'll have the new approved icon. So we'll have, again, our formal walk-up with an icon with the Benedict and cross and shield, and then we'll have this informal walk-up with CSVHB. Great question.
So when you're talking about the new icon, so the one that you've been showing us here the whole time, the CSV SJD one, is that going to be replaced by the one with the cross and shield, or is it going to be embedded into that, or is there going to be two separate ones?
It's part of the toolkit. So this is an informal expression of our brand. This is the formal expression of our brand, which will have the hexagon and the cross.
The formal one will have the hexagon and the cross. Got it. Thank you.
So I noticed within the script of the slideshow, there was a plus between the CSV and SJU, and that's a question that's come up often with our website, with materials that we're creating. It used to be a /, now it's a plus. What's the official guidance?
Guide is the strong word. I think it looks better as a plus. I also think it's to me that symbolizes strong integration. It's a yes and. So I haven't talked to Michael about this, but he owns our editorial guide. I think I hope that we can change it. The slash is terrible. It's just awful. It looks bad. So you can see that we've been playing with that, especially on those banners. We made a little flower between CSV and SJU. So I think a plus makes a lot of sense. It also feels Catholic. You know, it has a lot of, it's strong. So that's, I hope.
Quick question in regards to kind of the logo on the bottom right and what we saw on roughly page slide 16 or 17. When we have the new logo and icon done, will that go in the middle, like either when it's vertical or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm just curious about the evolution of the logo and trying to integrate the Benedict cross into it. One of the things that Brian said earlier is that we don't have a big open funnel, and we're trying to get more students. And I'm just wondering, has there been any pushback to trying to integrate the Benedict cross into the logo so that we keep that funnel open? And then once students get here, demonstrate how welcoming Benedict and Catholic is, rather than maybe scaring sisters off with that.
What do you mean?
Right.
I think we're new best friends. Yes, it's probably been in my 30-year career, probably been the most difficult and challenging rebrand I've ever been involved in. Because our market research is a strong indicator that this is not, we want to make sure that our doors are wide open to whoever wants to come here. But while remaining strongly committed and rooted to Benedict values and history. So I think where we're going to land, I would tell you that both qualitative and quantitative research does not necessarily encourage us to stick to this current mark. However, I do believe that the way we're incorporating the Benedict cross feels fresh and modern. It doesn't feel as heavy and a shield. It's very crusade-like. So I feel encouraged by what I've been seeing so far. So I remain hopeful that we can open the aperture and open our doors a little wider. Yeah, it's a really challenging conversation. It's about disagreeing better, Carol.
So is there going to be any, I'm assuming that for this coming year, for additions, we're going with what we've got.
We're not, we've actually removed the cross and shield from all of our marketing materials.
So we're doing this.
Yeah.
Will there be any follow-up research to compare this to what's coming in the future?
I would love for that to happen. Yeah. It's a great question.
I'm curious about the partnerships that we have. I know that marketing has been drastically underfunded for years and years and years. Is reallocation of budget allowing some of those partnerships to take place now? Expanded budget, maybe? I know this overlaps to the budget
Yeah.
conversation. And did we have any similar partnerships before? Or is this just all brand new?
It's a very strategic approach to modern digital marketing. So I think that's probably why I'm here. I'm a digital native, think digitally first. I love beautiful design, but ultimately, you put a data dashboard in front of me, I'm gonna nerd out. So everything that we are doing has a number behind it. We wanna measure everything. So, which is why you're not gonna see billboards, because I can't tell you if they're working. But I can tell you if our partnership with the Star Tribune is working. I can tell you if our partnership with Minnesota United is working. So it's a very data-driven approach to marketing. We reallocated the existing budget. We were spending, I'm going to be honest, we weren't spending smartly. We're a little sharper in how we're using our dollars. Is that fair to say, Michael?
Yes, I mean, of all those examples, probably only NPR was a partnership that we had previously. All the others are brand new.
Yeah, just to make sure I'm understanding. So when we say partnership, we're paying them for advertising, right? Or does it mean something else?
It's not as, it's a partner. They're a true partner in our success. So we carefully selected organizations that, they care deeply about us in terms of their connection to, many of our talent folks in these organizations are alum. But we're in it with them. I mean, we meet with them weekly. It's like having an agency, only we have multiple agencies. So think of it more like an agency of record, only we wanted to be a little bit more, the Star Tribune isn't really going to give us the reach we want in podcasts, so we're going to use iHeart. So it's just a really strategic mix of smart marketing tactics.
Thank you, that's helpful. And then just to speak to like them having our best interest in their minds too, like the conversations that we've had with them, I do feel like we've given them the agency and wanting them to tell us the truth behind how our dollars are performing. So I think that's the other, it's a really dynamic relationship, and that's where that word partnership comes deeply in.
We're really hitting top of funnel, so the admissions folks can do their job to create that yield. I think you have a question.
Well, I have a comment, and then I'm sorry for this, but when I see the red one, I just see a stop sign, and I can't unsee that it looks like a stop sign to me. And I'm worried a little bit, is this going to move the needle? And I think that you were kind of getting to that question. Is this resonating with prospective students? Is this marketing resonating with them?
Yeah, great question. I don't think a mark is the thing that's going to. A brand is not a mark.
Right.
I hope that's what I tried to kick us off with. Is that it's not about our logo. It's everything we do. It's how we make people feel when they enter campus. It's the signage they see. Do we have beautiful chairs? Do we have places for people to experience and become themselves while here? So our job in marketing and brand is to feel fresh and at least entice them to have the conversation with us.
And then my second one is, what do you recommend for departments? Because we're trying to do our own branding off of this. Do we have some freedom to do our own little things as they fit with your brand guide? Do you want us to stick pretty strict to it? I'm curious what you would recommend for departments.
Yeah, we have guidelines, and we've already designed how the departments can show up. So make sure you reach out to us if you ever need some support there.
Carol.
Is there time for another comment?
Yes, please.
I have 3 quick comments. One, I've been at a lot of institutions over the last 30 years who have gone through rebranding, and this is not just meant to say, oh my gosh, this is the best, but it is, for a couple of reasons. And one of the things that if you haven't been through a rebrand at a college or university, often, right, it comes at you and your letterhead is to be shredded and your t-shirts look old and your hats need to be thrown out, or they're called vintage, which is also cool. But I think for your team, Betsey, all of you, one of the things that's so I think helpful and really strategic is that you are doing it little by little, right? Because
Yeah.
I've been at places, and maybe some of you have too, where we actually had to assign staff people as the brand police. And if you were caught printing a poster with the old brand guidelines, like you got called into the police office, right? And you were scolded. But so I love this notion, and I just want to say, and like our kids were both at colleges when they went through the rebrand, and there will be pushback, right? From alums, right? But I just want to say, I think this is a really palatable, strategic, sustainable approach. Second thing, one of the things about partnerships that I see, because Brian and I are talking to alums and community members and all the time, is that people are starting to come to us to ask to be partners. Mateo of Crew and Aaron, they reached out 2 weeks ago, and I hope I'm not spoiling it here, but the new hall over here, they are seeking permission to brand a burger, a smash burger, for the Benny's and Johnny's. Like a whole thing. So, of course, it benefits them. I can't remember what my third one was, but great work.
Any more questions before we send you off to your next session?
We have website changes that we need to have for our departments.
Same link.
Contact.
That link is the same link. Yep.
Oh, I remember my third thing.
Oh, okay.
All right. So mascot. So one of the things that,
Yes, thank you.
do you want to talk about it?
No, you.
So stay tuned, because one piece of this that got me thinking about is exploring a mascot or mascots. The rat is not a mascot, right? It's a great piece of history, no offense to the rat. But Benny's and Benny's have never really had an actual mascot. And we know that actually it adds joy, it's a part of tradition and ritual. So stay tuned for a year-plus project following in the footsteps of the McAllister. I don't know if you followed along in their mascot exploration. They were doing it side by side with their rebrand. The mascot team is going to be doing the research based on all the research that's been done for multiple years to bring forward, to ask the community, students, monastics, staff, faculty, alums, for ideas, vetting them, looking at them, putting it out for community feedback, voting. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Carol. All right, final question.
I just am wondering about something, and I haven't been in higher ed for very long, but the portraits of faculty. Some are fuzzy, some are so dated. Is there any way that those can be updated, or
Yeah,
am I afraid to?
No, I think it's a good question. We're trying to not be, yeah, okay, we have to, okay. Why don't you, we're trying not to get in the portrait business. There's lots of resources, and there's some wonderful, I think we put in the brand guidelines to show you a great way to take a beautiful iPhone photo, honestly.
That, I mean, it would be
Yeah,
helpful,
I think that'd be
because
great.
just even
Yeah, we're trying to.
resolution